Hi, I'm Vera Bennett. Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, that was a slip, wasn't it? My name's Fiona Spence, and I played Vera Bennett, also known as Vera Tits. Vera Tits, oh dear, this is... Okay, I'll do that one again. My name's Fiona Spence, and I played Vera Bennett, also known as Vinegar Tits, and you're about to see episode 224, which was Vera's last episode. And it was an episode that was emotional to shoot because I was very attached. I love the character and I was very attached. It was my decision to leave and it was only because I was really exhausted. And it seems so funny to say it, but I guess because it was my first big role on television, I became quite consumed with it and I was very exhausted. From giving out all that aggression, because that wasn't really me, and also receiving it. I found that very, what's the word? It's not tiring, I suppose. It was just emotionally draining, I suppose, would be I suppose that's what I could say. I was emotionally drained. Maybe if it was, maybe what I should have done was take 3 months off, which they would do now, but back then the hours were long. I mean, some people like Meg Morris stayed there from the beginning till the very end, 7 years or however long it went for. But with my character, I needed a break. So I left, and it was a sad day. But I went over to Greece the next week and had a holiday. And yes, I suppose if I had my time over, I probably could have had a holiday and recouped all that energy and gone back into the show. But that's not the way it was. I left and I went to Barnhurst as the governor, and that was a goal of Vera's from the very beginning. She would have preferred to be the governor of Wentworth Detention Centre, but Barnhurst was also a very good offering. So that's where she went to.
As it has pleased God to permit our brother, Sidney Humphrey, to be taken from us, we now commit his body to the grave. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. May God bless and comfort the bereaved. Amen.
Goodbye, Sid.
Were you scared?
Yeah, but you get used to it. I hate to be locked up in there.
Like Mummy.
Oh, she'll be all right, love. You know, sometimes it's hard to understand when you haven't been in there, you know? Yeah, I lost a few friends when they found out Mum was, in prison. Yeah, I know. Friends like that aren't worth having. It's not fair. It wasn't our fault. Oh, you can't blame anyone, really. You know, maybe if we helped people more on the outside, we wouldn't need prisons at all.
You can't do this to me.
Why can't you understand?
Oh, I do understand. You're just like Kathy, aren't you? You're right.
Terry! Terry!
Have you signed those overtime sheets yet, Mrs. Davison?
Yes, they're here somewhere. Here they are.
Any word on Miss Bennett's replacement?
Well, they're still looking, I believe. Senior officers don't grow on trees.
I suppose we'll get somebody straight out of training school.
No doubt.
As long as we don't get another Sally Dean.
It's a very difficult job, Mr. Fletcher. We must expect a very high failure rate. Erica Davidson. Is she injured? Right. Mr. Fletcher's on his way. Terry Harrison's been shot. Vera was there. She's on her way to reception.
Is she hurt?
No, well, I don't know.
And Terry?
Erica Davidson here. Put me through to Detective Inspector Grace, please. It's urgent.
It's a beautiful spot.
Eh?
The cemetery. Lovely little place, well kept, lots of flowers everywhere. Sid'll really love it there.
Of course they will, love.
Real peaceful. Away from the main road and none of them noisy trucks and motorbikes. Just lots of lovely flowers and little stone angels. Captain Barton made a terrific speech. You would have thought he'd known Sid all his life, the lovely things he said about him.
Look, love, would you like to go back to our cell and talk about it?
Hey?
Nobody's going to think any less of you if you want to go and bawl your eyes out, Lizzie.
And sometimes it can help if you talk about it.
I am talking about it. There's no point in bawling. That won't bring Sid back. I'm glad that Mrs. Davidson could have been there.
Oh, heck, the only thing that I hate about kitchen duty is the washing up afterwards. I got this scratch on my finger, got detergent in it, it's stinging like hell.
Doreen, did you pipe down? Lizzie's talking about the funeral.
Oh, I was only thinking aloud. Give us a look, Dor.
Oh, it'll be all right, Lizzie. Hey, did you hear all the excitement?
What?
Well, ambulances and police cars sounded real close. I tried to look out the kitchen window, but I couldn't see anything.
No, I wouldn't hear anything stuck in here. What was it? An accident?
Dunno. I didn't hear a crash or anything. But just before it, I could have sworn that I heard a shot.
Oh, yeah. That would have been Clint Eastwood coming to bust me out of this
No,
place.
I'm sure it was a gun.
Oh, come off it, Doreen. You watch too much television.
Vera, why don't you go and lie down in the examination room? I could call Sister Franklin back. I'm sure she wouldn't mind.
There's no need. I'm perfectly all right.
Well, I really do think it'd be for the best. She could give you something.
I'm quite capable of knowing how I feel. I don't want to lie down.
Get you another coffee.
Vera, Inspector Grace would like a word with you.
Of course.
Mr. Fletcher? How is she?
Well, she seems calm enough. A bit too calm, really.
Miss Bennett, I'm sorry to have to put this on you right now, but I've got to get as much information as possible.
Of course. There's very little I can tell you. It all happened so quickly.
Well, I've got to know exactly what happened, so you just take your time.
I was on my way home from work. I was on my way to the bus stop. Terry, Mr. Harrison, came after me. He wanted to give me a lift. We stood talking on the footpath. He had his back to the road. A car came around the corner and there was an explosion. I then ran to the gatehouse to tell him what had happened.
Can you describe the car?
Well, it was tan. I think it could have been a sedan.
Did you get the numbers?
No, I didn't see them.
You know how many people were in the car?
No, there was just a gunshot.
What happened after the gunshot?
They drove off.
They? So there was more than
Well,
one?
yeah, well, no, I'm not sure.
Okay, just relax. Take your time.
There must have been more than one. Because there was the gun coming out of the back window.
Good. Now, Miss Bennett, can you think of anyone who would want Terry Harrison out of the way?
No.
You did say before that he was going to drive you home. You're on the footpath.
I didn't want him
Were
to
you
give
arguing?
me...
I mean, did you refuse to get in the
Inspector,
car?
I
or
think
what?
that's enough questions under the circumstances, don't you?
Yes, perhaps you're right. I'll get this put into some sort of statement. You can sign it later, Miss Bennett. If you think of anything else, you can let me know.
Was that absolutely necessary? Surely you got some idea who killed Terry by now.
And what do you mean, Fletcher?
Look, let's stop playing games. I mean, I know it's your job to get information, but Terry was a prison officer, not a private eye. If you hadn't encouraged him to play James Bond, he could still be alive.
I have to use every source of information I can. If someone's bending over backwards to help me, I'm not going to knock it back.
Terry was way out of his depth.
Of course he was. And after he'd set Kathy Hall up, he knew it, but he just kept on getting in deeper.
What do you mean, set Hall up?
Look, there's a few things you don't know about your mate Terry. Now, on the day Kathy Hall was released, he made a phone call to a certain pawnbroker who we've since found out was running a drop for the McNally drug racket. And that was after the little incident that he got you mixed up in. When they they got wind of him getting in contact with me, they decided to rub him out.
But if you knew he'd set her up, why didn't you arrest him as an accessory?
Well, police business is a bit like fishing, Fletcher. Catch a tiddler, you put it back on the hook. Put it back in, hope the big one will swallow it.